Happy New Year. At the time I'm recording this, it's my first message to record for us in 2023. And I want to share with you a concept and an idea that came to fruition right for the plucking off of the tree last night as I was getting ready for bed, because I usually keep a wall calendar for the last probably at least maybe 3 or 4 years. I like to keep a wall calendar right in my bathroom, right by the doorway. And on there, I'll track, important family events or things that we're looking forward to. I make little notes for myself whenever I do my favorite movement practice. It's like the equivalent of a gold star, but it's Sharpie. Inspired by my friend Marcia Shander, who literally wrote a post and shared about how she was using actual like star stickers, which I thought was really fun and a fun way to track stacking new habits. So I use it for that. I use my calendar for making notes on my cycle and how I'm feeling throughout the month and whatever. And so even though best laid plans, I was going to order myself a calendar for 2023 for Christmas, I didn't, because I froze, because I was like, well, I could order whatever Amazon is serving up, but it would probably be really meaningful and enjoyable if I create a calendar from photos that I've taken, either scenic shots or photos of my family or of my kiddos and their birth months, etc., etc., etc. So I keep hitting snooze on this desire. I keep delaying the gratification of having a new 2023 wall calendar on my wall. And so this spot has been blank. Well, I say that. I actually, I was like at the bottom of December 2022, I wrote out the numbers for the week in that tiny little margin at the bottom of the page. I actually tried to squeeze in the first week of January. And then I was like, this is silly. I'm taking it down. And then what I did when my kids were all at school for the first time for this semester a couple days ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to print a placeholder, because it's going to take me a minute, and I mean a figurative minute, not a literal one, for me to decide what I want to do if I am going to do a DIY 2023 calendar. Because like I said, I could go scenic, I could go with faces, I could go with single shots, I could go with collage style, I could go with only photos from 2022 in each given month, just search in January and la la la. Or I could go all the way back in pictures I've taken in any January. And I don't know, there's a little bit of decision fatigue. There's lots of little ways that I could go with that. I'll keep you posted. Let me know if you have any best practices, by the way, if you're a fan of creating DIY calendars and things like that. Anyway, it's going to take me a little while to figure out and just decide, to sit down and decide what I want to do on that. In the meantime, life is happening, and there are things that I want to be tracking and noting on a calendar visually in that spot. So what I did on Tuesday, as part of my blitz of all the things that I had in my brain sneeze of like, what are all the things that I want to do business-wise, personal-wise, and whatever, printing a calendar was one of those things as a placeholder. And it got me thinking. The term lifestyle lorem ipsum came to mind. And if you're not familiar with the term lorem ipsum, it's like a placeholder text that people sometimes use in design. If you're typesetting something and it kind of gives you a visual of the hierarchy of this is where the text is going to go. This would be larger. This would be smaller. And apparently, I just Googled it because I don't want to steer you wrong, but apparently it's actually Latin text from a book written on ethics and something by Cicero back in 45 BC or something like that. And so it actually kind of has meaning, but I think the words are jumbled anyway. And there's actually a lot of fun lorem ipsum generators. There's zombie theme and Batman theme, like if you just want a placeholder text. But the point for me is this idea of lifestyle lorem ipsum, where it's a placeholder. It's like, that there's something that you want or desire that you're co-creating and calling into your life and experience, but it's not here yet. It's not ripe yet. Like I said, I know it's actually 100% within my control to create this calendar that I want to create. But in order for me to do that, I have to care enough to sit down and actually make time to make those decisions. And it's not the top priority right now. So it's there. I see it, on the horizon. It's there. It's just, I'm not prioritizing it yet. And in the meantime, I have immediate desires of tracking stuff that's going on in my life and even in my body on this calendar. So I printed out the placeholder, and it's doing a beautiful job. And I was thinking about how else does that apply? Another example is years ago, right before we went on this amazing bucket list family trip to Alaska back in 2018. And I finally bought myself a bigger pair of jeans. I wrote an Instagram post about it. And I think I recorded a podcast on it, just on appreciating where we are now. Because whenever we first moved to Texas years ago, my body changed for all kinds of reasons, but I needed bigger pants for Pete's sake. I was like only wearing sweatpants or loosey-goosey pants, which I love. I mean, I'm wearing yoga style. I don't do yoga, but I'm wearing yoga pants right now. Anyway, I love maternity jeans. I love the maternity panel. I don't understand why pants ever have to have buttons, to be honest, but I needed to buy bigger pants if I was going to wear pants with buttons in this season of life. And I kept delaying it, thinking that I was just going to shift my body, transform my body back into the other pants. And it's like, well, you know what? Maybe I will. But in the meantime, this is the body that I have, and this body deserves to feel great in whatever clothes. And buying just a bigger size pair of pants was this revolutionary thing. Like, right. It's okay for me to experience this now. I don't have to wait. I don't have to delay it. I don't have to keep it an arm's length away. Likewise with resizing my wedding rings. When I finally was like, I wasn't wearing my wedding rings for the longest time because they didn't fit on my finger. And then I finally just got them sized up a half size or a size, whatever it was. And then I was like, great. I get to appreciate and enjoy my things right now. I don't have to wait. So anyway, I don't know if that is ringing any bells for you. I would love to know. If it is, you can hit the link wherever you see it for the comment box to tell me about it and let me know, or take a screenshot of this and share it and connect with me that way. But I'd love to know for you what's coming up as ideas of things that you've been delaying that you could actually enjoy and appreciate now, even if it's not in that final form of what you're envisioning. It also reminds me of whenever if you've ever had any orthodontics work, orthodontic appliances in your mouth, and they'll do spacers, rubber bands between your molars to actually create space so that whenever they put the actual metal, brace around the back to hold your thing in place, they need a little space between your teeth. And so they'll put a little rubber band and call it spacers just to actually create that little divide. And so we talk a lot about holding space, creating space for blah, blah, blah. And this idea of lifestyle lorem ipsum, it's like, no, literally creating space. You're actually literally creating space. You're actually bringing this into your life. You're bringing this into your experience, even if it's not, like I said, the final form of what you're envisioning. But it actually really does a great job. You may end up falling in love with placeholders. I remember my friend Denise Duffield Thomas talking about this years ago, about building her business on placeholders, where it's something and it works and it literally does the job. You may end up redoing it, revamping it later, but for now, and it's not from a place of settling, like, because if you genuinely appreciate the milestone and all the different stages of development, it's like, no, I genuinely appreciate my little printer paper, easy to hang up with the thumbtack wall calendar right now, because it's doing the job and I appreciate it. And I also know that it's reminding me that one day when I care enough, I'm going to create a really sweet family life based calendar for the rest of the year. So lifestyle lorem ipsum, give it a go, create a placeholder, start bringing whatever it is into your experience in a way that is actually accessible to you today. Because that's the thing. I think whenever we can actually experience it, that's the vibe, that's the energy we want to be in anyways, having the thing that it is that we desire, having and creating that experience, controlling what we can control to actually reel it in. You can't see me, I'm sitting in my car, reeling in an imaginary fishing pole. But we can bring it in now in some form. So again, I hope that resonates with you. Lifestyle lorem ipsum. Click the link. Tell me somehow. I love to hear from you. Otherwise, I have no way of knowing if you're even listening to this. But even if it's just future me listening back to this, if I haven't created the wall calendar by now, please take this time. Take this as the sign to sit down for 25 minutes, make some decisions, and order the thing. All right. I hope you have a beautiful day over there. I'll talk to you again soon. Okay, technically that was the end of the episode, but since you're still here, 1, I'd love to thank you for spending part of your day with me, and 2, I'd love to ask you if you would take 30 seconds, maybe 60, to leave a rating and review in your podcast app before you tap out today. If you've already done that, it's amazing. Please send me a screenshot so I can thank you personally, and know that sharing this episode with a friend has the same magical powers, and I deeply appreciate both. Also, in case you're listening to the end to see if I ever actually introduce myself, hi! My name is Nikki Elledge Brown. I'm the host and author of Naptime Empires and this here On Her Terms podcast. You can find me around the internet at Nikki Elledge Brown in most places, but what you may appreciate most is actually over at onherterms.com. It's what I call the insider library. It's where you can get inside scoop, first listen rights, email updates every time there's a new episode, and then special insider only bonus content. It's all over in our private feed. Okay, that's a wrap for real. I'll meet you in the next episode.